Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Welcome, everyone, to Small Business Survival Conversations. We welcome you to listening to us this morning. I'm here with my colleague, Anna Steinfest, and I'm Michael Troyer. And today we want to talk about why less is more in your product or the service that you provide. Just something for you to think about, maybe some ideas you can put into practice. So
I think this is a very important topic. I know that sometimes we ignore that, but we just want to bring that to your forefront because the products or services we are offering to our customers may be too over-designed or overbuilt or offering too many choices, and that confused the customer. And we said it in the past, but we will repeat it, that confused customer do not buy product or service.
Yep. I think right away, for an example, and I mentioned it to Anna a little bit ago, I go to a local hardware store. I like it because it doesn't have this vast inventory I have to pick through. What I get in return for it having less inventory is I get a lot of advice on how to use the product or products that I'm buying from them. And I really value that. I need help. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but I need guidance or I make mistakes. So less inventory is more because I get that personalized help.
And you have to answer some of the questions. In this case, where and for whom can you reduce or simplify the design with all your features, or sometimes simplify the selling process for the customer to make faster and better choices for themselves.
Or here's an opportunity when they come in for service because something's gone wrong, or they just need more help using the product they bought from you, that you really reach out and do something more than any other store or business would do, that you really give them a lot of help. Service is more, but they came to you because they thought you wouldn't require quite so much of them. So you make that service that you deliver that more meaningful, that more helpful, that more quick as well. We all get impatient when we don't get help right away. So think about how you can look at what you're offering, product or service, and simplify it, make it less, and find out that you get much more happiness from your customer.
And especially in the service field, I know that we have a lot of listeners who are in the service field. For example, we really want to offer our customers everything under the sun. However, right now, I don't know whether you noticed, but the trend is to offer, let's say, 3 packages with your best service available. Leave the rest of your service as a la carte or optional, because customers, when they land on your page, they will clearly see what package it's included in one or included in the other one or the premier one, and can faster choose which service to buy. Again, we're talking about simplification of your sales process also, because you don't want to throw all your services at your customers, because the customers, they don't even know what they need.
Anna, that's a perfect example in my mind. I love that, because going to a website is already a complicated affair. Yes, I know the young know how to do it in their sleep. Some of the rest of us struggle a little bit. But when you throw a lot of words at me and I have to go through 1 or 2 pages to figure it all out, you're losing me as a customer. I'm impatient too. So the shorter the sentences, the shorter the explanation. We're going to come to another way to help you further into this podcast. But I think that's really important. Keep it simple. Offer me more if you think I need it, but don't put it all in that first page. Bring me in slowly, because I'm going to get, this is more than I want, and I'm going to walk away and look elsewhere. Absolutely.
Reduce complexity. That's extremely, extremely important.
I think so often of, again, the struggle we have using something that we thought was going to solve our problem or help me complete a job, and there's just so much to it. I get something and it gives me instructions. My daughter just the other day acquired. Now, this is probably not what you folks are typically offering. It's a watch that will count the number of steps she takes. Yeah, but my daughter has some cognitive challenges. Learning how to just get this watch to work in a simple way is well beyond her. So I'm now struggling to help her figure out how to use it. She had a knee replaced, so she needs it. But that's just one simple example. Anybody tried to open a jar lately?
Yes, yes.
I know we made them safer so people couldn't put something in there that shouldn't be there, somebody who came into the retail store. But wow, we now have a wrench in our house. It's a kitchen wrench, we call it. It's to open jars and bottles because they don't want to open otherwise. That's oddly enough a complexity, and it's annoying sometimes. But I'm sure there are others you can think of where if you have to write instructions, give them to your grandmother or grandfather, have them read the instructions and do whatever that is required. I'm going to tell you, when your grandmother and grandfather get caught up and confused, you've made it too complex. Back it off. Have you had any experiences like that, Anna?
Absolutely. And what we want you to do right now is go back and examine your product or service. And we want you to try understanding, like Michael said, ask someone who is not familiar with your product and service and see what is their feedback. What is their challenge with your product or service? How many features you should be offering, or how many of your services you should be offering to the customers.
Yes.
Examine. And then once you do that, once you audit everything, make sure that you simplify everything. Can you simplify even further?
You know, if you do, as Anna was saying before, if you give me something simple and I learn to use it well, then you can take me up the next stage with a little more features added to it, a little more complexity. But except that I have to build towards that. I'm not going to want it all at once. A third thing that you want to think a little bit about, I think, is that how much time does it take to effectively use the product or the service that you're delivering to me? If it's service, how long do I have to wait before I can get through to the technician who really knows how to help me use this product, or to figure out how to return it because it doesn't work, it doesn't fit? If it's a product, will it speed things up, or is it so wonderfully featured that it'll slow me down? I think this is the simple one, is I think of a remote for a TV. How many buttons do you use on your remote right now? I mean, I use probably 4 buttons. There are, I think, 20 on it, but I basically use 4. They ought to be the biggest buttons there. Now, you're probably not making a remote for a TV, but think of the lesson it tells you. That, again, look at it carefully, figure out not only in terms of complexity, but how long does it take to learn it? I'm the only one on I shouldn't say that. My wife, if I'm away, basically doesn't watch TV because she can't figure we've got 3 remotes. Which one should she push? So she pushes all the buttons and nothing happens. That's not necessarily in today's world. I'm also looking for software. And Anna, I know you do this all the time. I like a piece of software that starts out simple. So many of the ones I look at have so much built into them that I get lost and the time it takes to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
So I don't use it at all, which is unfortunate.
So, Michael, what are our tips for our listeners?
I'd say simplify, make it easier for that segment of the audience that doesn't want all that number of features that you're throwing at it. Make it less complex if you can. You don't be careful of the words you use as well in terms of that complexity. And then finally, look at it as a way of reducing time to learn to use it rather than increasing the time. So if you have somebody write instructions for whatever it is you're selling, go back and have somebody try those instructions and see if they can follow it. I tell you, 6 out of 10 times when I get some instructions for something, I have to put something together for a kid for Christmas, I'm better off to just try to figure it out on my own than read those instructions. So think about that. That's what's going to get you that edge in the marketplace.
Absolutely. It's all about being different and offering something better than your competitors. Thank you, everyone.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.